If someone asked what you do, would you start listing your services or would you give them something they'll actually remember? I used to introduce myself by saying that I did SEO for websites, blog posts, email, social media, and marketing strategy. It was accurate, but nobody remembered it. Then I realized people don't remember job titles, they remember stories, problems, and outcomes. I used to think the more I explained it, the better people would understand me. So I'd list everything. Looking back, I was overwhelming people. Now I simply say, I'm a relationship marketing strategist and I give back to people buy from people. So serving service-based businesses, I help them get more sales without creating more content by focusing on relationships and showing you how to have effective conversations, whether that's in the DMs, in the comments, and or in an in-person event. How can you take the seed of your conversation, find a commonality, and then gently ask some questions that are topic adjacent to what you do? And it's really important to note that people do not remember a list of services. They remember how you made them feel and or what outcome you helped them achieve. Think about your own experience when you're talking to someone or in a networking environment of some sort. What are the introductions that you actually remember? I'll bet they're usually the ones that had you see yourself in it and start thinking, yeah, that's me. Exactly. They describe a problem that you're having or that you've had, or they tell a story that you can relate to and see yourself in. And that's what starts the conversation. And truth be told, a potential relationship, because when someone aligns with you, that's why when we were in school, we used to have a whole bunch of friends. Well, in general, we had access to acquaintances or people who we knew because we were going through the same struggle at the same time. Like, oh, we hate that teacher. That's our commonality. That's what gets you talking. Or maybe you were into sports or at the dog park, or you take your kids for a play date. You have that commonality, and that is the core, the start of your relationship. And then from there, maybe the kids, if you met at a play date or at the park, maybe you get a couple of the moms or dads together for a wine night, or, without the kids after they've gone to bed. And then your relationship continues there. Well, this is the same thing when we're talking about business. You probably start with a commonality. Maybe you've met in a community online, or you attend regular luncheons that have speakers, and you start to know people and they start to recognize you because you're there and they like your vibe and you like their vibe. So then maybe instead of having those luncheons once a month, you say, hey, why don't we get together in 2 weeks, so that we're seeing each other and we can really get to know each other better. Or let's grab a coffee afterwards and really dig into what the topic was that we heard today and see how it applies to us. That is the seed of the start of a conversation. And remember, we were talking about introductions. What I learned is the goal isn't to impress people or explain everything you know or everything you do. And I struggle with this myself. I get into the how instead of the result or why they care. And it's actually a gift to help the right people recognize themselves in what you're saying. One of my favorite things that I witness inside of my school community, and especially with, we call it the Growth Lab, it's my paid offer, but what I really love is watching people get more comfortable talking about their business. They stop leading with a job title and they start leading with the problem they solve. Instead of saying, I'm a virtual assistant, they might say, I help busy business owners get time back so they can focus on what they do best. Which would you be more likely to raise your hand for and say, I need that? And even if they took it a step further and maybe they are a marketing VA and they say, I take all of the marketing stress off of your hands and I do it for you. I do the thinking, you're just reading it and giving approval in less than an hour before we put it out into the world. But I'm doing the research. This is what I do myself. This is my intro for my done for you marketing services. But I do the research and figure out where your people are. I do everything from creating to scheduling. Wouldn't that be a big relief? I'd raise my hand for that. I have raised my hand to have people help me do that. And that's why I created my offer as well, because people were like, thank you, just take it. I don't want to do it. I want to focus on the thing that I am good at. And that's all I want to focus on. Or maybe they have a challenge and they are sharing that I have an audacious goal where I want to have 25 coffee chats this month. Will you be my one? People know how to respond, and women especially, we love to support fellow entrepreneurs. So how likely are we to raise our hand and say, sure, I'll have a coffee chat with you? What's the worst is I have a conversation. The best is now I have a new referral partner. Now I have a new networking event that I heard of that I didn't know about before because that came up in conversation. Truly, I believe that there is no negative in any kind of coffee situation. And you know what? If it's really, really bad, you just say, oh my gosh, I have to go. Like, see ya, bye, and you hang up. Well, okay, you don't hang up, but you know what I mean? You just cut it short and just say, I really appreciate your time. I'm done. Introverts, how would you handle that? I think the extroverts would have a little bit more of an easy time with that, but you get what I'm saying. There are more benefits than potential losses for taking people up on their offers. All of this to say that I've learned the best introductions, they don't end the conversation, they invite the next one. So here's my challenge to you. The next time you're in a situation where you're introducing yourself, don't start with your job title. Start with the problem you solve, the outcome you create, or share a story so that that person can see themselves inside of that situation. Then pay attention to what happens next. And if you'd like to practice having these conversations and introducing yourself without introducing your job title, I'm going to invite you to come into my school community. It's called the Marketing Momentum Collective. This is a safe space for you to practice this. It is an aware audience. We know what you're going to try and do, and we're going to give you feedback. And if that audience is not responding to your comments or your posts, then we know that we have to start asking better questions and be more curious. So come on in. I'd love to have you. And if you're already a member of our community, I hope that you are putting into practice and taking advantage of this opportunity that we are creating to practice visibility, show up consistently, build those habits. We have lots of daily posts for you to comment on. There's a lot of activity in our group. So there's no reason why you can't just jump in and start wherever you are. And I want you to remember, content creates visibility, conversation creates opportunities, and relationships attract those sales. I'll see you in the next one.